Hello everyone and welcome back to Jackal Educational Channel. So this is the UGC NET 2021 exam paper solution for the environmental science paper. Here we will be also discussing the important concepts which will be coming in the questions, and not only knowing the answers but the concept behind that. So this is very important because we all know that previous year's question paper are very important to revise before going for the examination, because many of the questions are again repeated in the examination. So if you haven't watched this playlist, you can check the link given in the I button as well as in the description button to revise the previous year's question. And you can also join our Telegram group for regular quizzes for strengthening your preparation in the environmental science entrances. Links will be provided in the description, and also our Instagram page for the current affairs and short notes. So without much delay, let's get started. So the first question for today's video is on your screen. The question is from the UGC NET 2021 paper. As we all know, the question is, which of the following are included in the list of hazardous waste as per the hazardous waste rule 2016? So here the options are fly ash, empty barrels contaminated with hazardous waste, red mud, chemical containing residue arising from decontamination. And among the four options, we have to select the correct code. So here first thing is that we have to eliminate which are not under the hazardous waste as per the hazardous waste rule 2016. First is fly ash. So fly ash, a very common sense that it cannot be under hazardous waste, it is not hazardous waste. Next is red mud. How can be a mud be hazardous waste? So red mud is also not under hazardous waste, but B and D, that means empty barrels contaminated with hazardous waste, already the word hazardous waste is used here, so it will be definitely there. And chemicals containing residue arising from decontamination, these will also be included in the list of hazardous waste as per the hazardous waste rule 2016. So here which option is giving these two options? Option number 2, B and D only will be the correct option. But we have to know hazardous waste, what are the criteria and all, because this is also one of the frequently asked questions in the examination. So let's know more about hazardous waste. First of all, a waste is considered as hazardous. तो किसे hazardous waste कहेंगे? Based on the property. अगर उसके पास वो properties है that makes it potentially dangerous or harmful to human health or the environment. So if it is harmful for human health or environment, so then it will be considered as the hazardous waste based upon its properties. So the properties also will know. So how can be the hazardous waste? So hazardous waste can be liquid form, it can be in solid, or it can be contained in the gaseous form, or discarded unused commercial product. So these things are important, you should note down. It can be any of this form or discards used material. So here various characteristics have been defined under class C of schedule 2. This is important. Characteristics have been defined under which class of which schedule under the hazardous and other waste rule 2016, that is class C of schedule 2 and part C of schedule 3. These two things are important under the hazardous and other waste rules 2016, and these characteristics we should know. It is very frequently asked question, I am repeatedly telling. First is ignitability, next is corrosivity, third is reactivity, fourth is toxicity. We'll know one by one. Ignitability. What is ignitability? Any waste, any substance, if it can create fire under certain condition, then it is called as its ignitability. And hazardous waste should be having the flash point less than 60 degrees Celsius. So what is this flash point? It is the lowest temperature at which its vapors ignite if given an ignition source. So less than 60 degrees Celsius, if any substance is catching the fire or it is ignited when ignition source is given, then that will be the ignitability, which will be considered as hazardous as per the hazardous waste rule. Next, coming to the corrosivity. Corrosivity means it can be acids or bases. So coming to the chemical properties now. So when the pH of a substance is less than or equal to 2, that means it is acidic. Or when the pH is equal to or more than 12.5, that means it is telling it is base. So if these two properties are there, any of the properties, then it will be called as hazardous waste because it is having the corrosive nature. And if it will be liquid, it will corrode the steel. So this is a property. Because of corrosivity, it can corrode steel also. Next thing is reactivity. So substances that are unstable under normal condition are very reactive, and they can cause explosion, produce toxic fumes and vapors. Those substances will be also called as hazardous waste. Similarly, same criteria, pH between 2 and 11.5. This is important. Reactivity, and it will be, the pH should be in between 2 and 11.5. Examples of hazardous chemical waste under the reactivity characteristics will be cyanide, sulfide, and batteries which we are using. All these are hazardous waste as per the reactivity characteristics. And fourth and important toxicity is the characteristic, that is, it is harmful when any substance is harmful when it is ingested or absorbed. So absorption and ingestion, if these two things are done by any product and it is harmful for us or animals, then it will be also called as toxic, and it will be called as hazardous waste. So for example, leach from the waste and pollute groundwater. So when the waste are dumped in the landfills, they are leaching away and they are polluting the groundwater. They are also hazardous waste. So 4 criteria: ignitability, corrosivity, reactivity, toxicity. If any one of them, here it is mentioned, waste is considered hazardous if it shows one or more some of the following characteristics, one or more than one these 4 properties, then it will be called as hazardous waste. I hope you have noted down. Let's move to the next question. The next question is, name the person who launched the Green Belt movement in Kenya, and he also got the Nobel Peace Prize. So here are the options, and I know most of you will not be knowing the answer, so I will reveal the answer. So here the correct option will be option number 1. Wangari Maathai is the person who launched the Green Belt movement in Kenya, and he also got the Nobel Peace Prize for that. Coming to the next question, again waste. So very important, waste management. And this question is, consider the following statements regarding incineration of urban waste. So here options are given. You have to read one by one statement. First is, incineration of urban waste is a clean process. So who is telling that it is a clean process? First of all, we will reject this statement. Next is, under ideal condition, incineration may reduce the volume of waste by 75 to 95%. So this is correct statement about incineration. And ash is generated as byproduct of incineration. So this is also correct statement. Next is, this process of pollutant abatement is inexpensive. So it is not correct statement. So the incinerators which are used for the urban waste, they are very expensive, and it is not a clean process. So A and D statements are wrong. B and C will be correct. So which option will be correct? Option number 2 will be correct, that is B and C only. So this was very chocolate question. So these things you should not get confused, very simple things. Let's move on to the next set of questions. The next question is, which one among the following has the lowest hydraulic conductivity? And here the hydraulic conductivity is expressed in meter per day, and here the options are gravel, sandstone, sand, or clay. So here among the 4 options you have to select. So I have already given the table. So here correct option will be clay. Clay is having the lowest hydraulic conductivity. And what is hydraulic conductivity? You should also know. It is a measure of how easily water can pass through soil or rock. So it is the measure of how easily, कितने आसानी से water जो है उस soil या rock से pass कर सकता है, उसे कहते हैं हम hydraulic conductivity. And this table is very important. You should make this table. First starting with the gravel. So here gravel is having the hydraulic conductivity as from 100 to 1000 depending on the type of gravel. Coarse sand 20 to 100, and sand and gravel 5 to 100, fine sand 1 to 5, clay very least, that is 0.001 to 0.01. You should remember these things, which is least, and this is clay, which is having the most, it is having the gravel, because ग्रेवल को पार करके जाना इतना इजी नहीं है वाटर के लिए. सो इट विल बी डिफिकल्ट फॉर ए वाटर टू इजीली पास थ्रू ग्रेवल. And then coming to the fractured or weathered rock, it is around 0 to 300, and sandstone is having from 0.001 to 1 as its hydraulic conductivity. So hydro, that means water, very easy concept. It is a measure of how easily water can pass through soil or rock, and clay is having the least hydraulic conductivity. So I hope guys you have noted down all these things. If you haven't, you can pause the video and then you can make this table. So let's move to the next set of questions. So guys, next question is on your screen. The question is, among all the unbiased estimators of the population regression coefficients which are linear in the dependent variables, say y1, the least squares estimators have the smallest variance. So this statement is known as what? So no need to worry about what is this thing, what is it is written, statistics and all, or this is, you should remember who has given this statement or what is this theorem. Just remember this, and this, the correct option will be option number 4, Gauss-Markov theorem. So this theorem has given that among all the unbiased estimators of the population regression coefficients which are linear in the dependent variable, the least squares estimators have the smallest variance. So no need to think about that, only just remember it is given by Gauss-Markov theorem. So some things you should only remember, no need to go deep, it will create havoc in your mind. Next question, very frequently asked questions, I hope you all will be knowing. Question is, according to the US Department of Agriculture system of classification, so you can see from US Department of Agriculture system of classification the question has come. So don't think like that, it is very simple question, just twisted form. The question is, the size of silt particles in soil ranges between what to what millimeter. So I'll wait for certain seconds, let you think, then I will reveal the answer. So here the correct option will be option number 3. Yes, size of silt particles will be 0.002 to 0.05 millimeter, and I will tell you about gravel, clay and sand. So these things are very important, you should write down. First, starting with the gravel. So gravel size range should be greater than 2 millimeter. You should write down gravel size greater than 2 millimeter according to US Department of Agriculture system classification. Next, coming to the clay. So clay will be how much? Clay size should be less than 0.002 millimeter. So this thing you should note down, clay less than 0.002 millimeter. So I'll clear these things. Now we will go to another part, that is sand. So sand's particle size will be how much? Sand's particle size will be from 0.05 to 2 millimeter. These things you should note down. So I hope you have noted down all these things. These things are important which I have told. Let's move on to the next questions. Next question is on our screen. The question is given, the statements are given and you have to select which statement is correct and which is wrong. It is related to the Gaussian plume model, very important concept for the environmental science entrances. Statement 1. Statement 1 states turbulent diffusion causes mixing of pollutants at a rate faster than the molecular diffusion in atmosphere. Let's read the second statement. Second statement is, the distance from the stack where maximum ground level concentration is observed is relatively large when the atmosphere is more turbulent. So these things you should analyze, and for that analysis I have provided this picture here. So this is the picture of Gaussian plume model in which this is the stack height. So what will be the correct statement? So here first statement is absolutely correct because turbulent diffusion causes mixing of pollutants at a rate faster than molecular diffusion in atmosphere. That means turbulent, when the atmosphere is unsteady due to its agitation, its mixing, irregular motion, it causes the mixing of pollutants at a faster rate than the molecular diffusion, that is the normal diffusion in the atmosphere. So if atmosphere is turbulent, it is unsteady, agitation will take place and pollutants will mix in the faster rate. So statement 1 is correct. Next statement is, distance from the stack where maximum ground level concentration is observed is relatively large when the atmosphere is more turbulent. So it is telling that where maximum ground level concentration is observed when the distance from the stack is relatively large. So this is telling that when there is more turbulence in the atmosphere, more mixing of the pollutants, so it is telling the ground area will cover more as compared to the normal condition where the pollutants will be seen in the larger area, relatively large. That means what? The distance from the stack. So this is the stack. From stack, the ground, the distance will be more for the pollutants when the atmosphere is turbulent. This is wrong because when the atmosphere is turbulent, that means it's mixing all the pollutants. All the pollutants, what will happen? it will bring down the pollutants, because of mixing and all irregular motion, it will bring down all the pollutants and it will be nearby the stack. So this is the stack height. So you can see this is the stack height from where the gases are released. So it will be nearby the stack height, because all the pollutants after mixing it will fall down. So it will not be in the larger distance area, it will be in the lesser distance. So all the pollutants will fall down. So this is when the atmosphere is more turbulent, it will be not in the larger area distance from the stack height. So I hope you have understood. If you haven't, you can ask me in the comment section or in our Telegram group. Again, I am repeating, you can join Telegram group Learn for the Environment for the daily quizzes which will strengthen your preparation, and you can check what is your preparation level. So I hope this video will be useful for you and you have liked this. Don't forget to subscribe the channel if you haven't subscribed till now. So thanks for watching the video. Keep smiling and believe in yourself.